Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 9. Now, to a great extent, this is a real important week, and it's a real important week because we've been working towards it all semester long. This week, you're going to write and balance chemical equations. What that means is you're going to take a statement like this reacts with this to make this. And it's sort of what we've been working towards all this time. All of the bonding that you've done, all of the understanding the atomic symbols for things, understanding what on a periodic table is a metal and a non-metal, understanding by looking at something on the periodic table, is it a solid, a liquid, or a gas? That sort of thing, we're going to pull it all together. And to me, this feels like you're really doing chemistry. So we're going to start out with taking a statement, a sentence, and then you're going to translate from English into a chemical reaction. And that is a very important thing because in chemistry, a chemical reaction is a recipe. Most of us cook, and a recipe is a shorthand way of saying, this is how you make a cake or cookies or a roast. This is what you do. This is the ingredients. This is how you put it together. That's what a chemical reaction is. That's our recipe. And it is a very, very shorthand way of doing it instead of every step laboriously written out. And you're going to take the instructions and write out that shorthand. Then we're going to talk about balancing equations. Now, balancing equations are how we do the bookkeeping of chemistry. Atoms don't magically appear or magically disappear. If you watched a lot of Harry Potter or read all the books like I did, it seems like matter sort of appears and disappears, but it doesn't in the real world. And so we have to account for it. It's kind of like money in your checkbook. It might appear like it just goes away, but you have to keep track of every single atom before and after a chemical reaction. Because if you don't, if you actually are going to use a chemical reaction to make something, you got to make sure before and after that you have all of the parts and pieces accounted for. So we're going to practice balancing those reactions. And then the last thing we're going to do this week is we're going to take those wacky moles that we have used last week, and we're going to apply those in order to make the batch smaller or larger. Now, I don't know about you if you've ever taken a batch of cookies and said, okay, let's double the batch because one batch of cookies hardly lasts a day in my house. So maybe you say we're going to make a double batch. We're going to use moles that way. What if you only have enough ingredients for half a batch? Or you want to make twice as much or 3 times as much? That's where that moles amount of substance comes in, is it allows us to ramp that same recipe, that chemical reaction, make it bigger, make it smaller. And those are all skills that you are going to practice this week in the study guide and then demonstrate this week on the quiz. So let's just take a quickie-poo peek at Canvas. We're going to writing those chemical equations, of course, our study guide, balancing the reactions, and then look at those mole relationships. The study guide this week, as always, there's going to be some definitions, some ideas, translating English into chemistry, balancing reactions. So a whole bunch of reactions are going to be written here, and then you're going to put in the coefficients to balance. And then lastly, a couple calculations. I'm only going to have you do a few of them, but a few calculations to apply that mole concept. So it's going to be a good week. It's really a fun week, I think, because you get to take all of that stuff we've been working on for a long time, and you get to pull it together. And I hope you feel like a chemist because you're doing some really cool chemistry this week. All right, have a good one. And as always, if you have questions, be in touch. All right, bye-bye.